Hi, everyone. I wanted to share the mentality and the mind of someone that remains a Jehovah's Witness. And this is only one small aspect of it, but I believe that it is important because it is one of the ways that I remain a Jehovah's Witness. You see, I believed that they stood out from all other religions. There are many different categories in which I believe that was. Although now, in retrospect, I find that it was all a lie. It was all a veneer and a showy display. One that was programmed and indoctrinated into my mind in their written materials that were voiced from the stages of the Kingdom Halls worldwide weekly. And so hearing a lie over and over again, eventually we believe it. And so I did. I believed that the Creator had chosen the Jehovah's Witnesses above all other religions on the earth. I believed that they were approved by the Creator, and therefore, in order to have the Creator, they made us believe we had to be a part of this organization. We had to slave and sweat weekly and go out knocking on doors, even if we were sick, if we worked 70 hours to provide for our families. If an old person was old and had cancer, they still had to go out tired and knock on doors in order to be viewed by the congregation as righteous. For they said, you seek first the kingdom, Matthew 6:33, and all these other things will be added to you. And so they made me believe that I had to knock on doors 70 hours a month, no matter what circumstances were happening in my life. And so I looked around in the kingdom halls and I saw distraught souls and depressed souls because they were tired. They worked hard all week and could not make enough money because they were told not to go to college or not seek a career in which would supply enough sustenance to their families. And so they struggled washing windows, or doing whatever it is they could do because they were not educated enough to seek out jobs that would give them the ability to provide enough for their families. And so they struggled, and the jobs that they worked at, they worked hard. They were hard workers. And they struggled hourly, weekly, and monthly just to put food on the table. And even if they needed to work a little bit more overtime, if it interfered with meetings, or it interfered with their time knocking on doors, then they were told if they did that above the work of the kingdom, that they were putting worldly pursuits ahead of God. And so I saw people with cancer, people riddled throughout their body in pain, crying because they could not fulfill their monthly quota of going out in field service and knocking on doors and saving lives for the kingdom and bringing people into this religious organization that they were told and believed, which I believed, was the only organization on earth that God approved of. And so we struggled. I struggled. In the snow, I pushed the stroller with my children in it in order that I preach the kingdom and reach my quota as a pioneer, in order that God approved me and that I felt good for that month, only to repeat the same circumstances the next month. And I saw people struggling, putting 50 hours in a month of auxiliary pioneering and feeling good about themselves that month because they had achieved the 50 hours of quota. Only the next month they couldn't even make 10. And so I'd see them crying and saying, I did not please Jehovah this month because I have not reached my monthly quota. And so this was the continued struggle of a Jehovah's Witness. Feeling approved, feeling not approved, feeling like you've fallen short, like you have displeased the Creator because you are told by an organization that there is a set amount of hours a month that you must reach in order to prove your loyalty. And so you did it. You did whatever they said. And when they made announcements from the stage praising those who were able to reach this unsincere and unreachable goal, because they were exceptional people. Their names were praised from the stage. And so if you did not reach your quotas, if you did not amount to what they did, you shrunk in the audience and felt as though you had displeased God. And somehow you idolized those people that could reach this unreachable quota. And so you praised them, and they became the very ones in the congregations in which everyone tried to reach out to be friends with, so that they could be in the approved category for that month. And so cliques developed. And many people were distraught in their spirit. And depression ran amok within the congregations. I could tell you, there's so much depression within the religion of Jehovah's Witnesses that so many people are popping pills because they cannot cope with not being good enough. You see, they have been told that there are numbers to prove your love for God. And they have been told that only within the halls of the congregations can you reach the Creator and express your love to Him. And only then will He express it back to you by your being admired by others and feeling approved. And so many suffer within that organization. And so many are lured in because there is a veneer that is presented to you as you are studying with Jehovah's Witnesses that makes you think that they stand out above the rest. You see, when you are studying, they tell you that in 1914, 1919, that Jesus was installed on his throne invisibly in heaven because he brought about the kingdom then, and invisibly he began his kingdom rule over the earth. And so he looked out throughout the world at all the religious organizations that existed then, and somehow he saw the Watchtower. He saw the Jehovah's Witnesses as being exceptional because they knocked on doors, they sweat, they bled, they suffered, they pain just to reach a quota. And so he said, Jesus sitting invisibly on his throne, they are the ones that I choose. And I will use them to knock on doors around the world and spread my message. And only those who accept this message will receive life everlasting. John 17:3. And so in believing this, many preached on doors. They were told to forsake college and careers and all things that are normal to those not part of their religion. And they were told that they were exceptional, that Jesus chose them in 1914, and that in order for others to receive these benefits, you must preach to them and teach to them so that they too can gain everlasting life. John 17:3. And so I believed this lie, and I was lured into these lies, which many of you will be lured in because you will believe and be trained to believe that somehow in 1914, where the math does not add up, they tell you dates that that Jerusalem fell that do not add up to true archaeology. And they will make you believe it. And they will lure you in by kind niceties. People will be so nice to you because they tell you that these people have been trained by the Creator to be better. And so they will lure you in. They will cook for you. They will invite you places. They will make you see the greatest of themselves until you become a part of them. And when you become a part of them and you get baptized, you will be expected to do all that they do. And you will be trained also to be the best that you can be so that you can present an image to the world in which, yes, they must be with God because look how nice they are. But then once you become a part of them, if you do not reach up to their caliber, if you do not reach up to their quota, and if you no longer believe what they believe, then their love becomes conditional. And so this is a part of the Watchtower that many do not see until they become a part of it. And you must know, before you agree to something, that there must be something hidden because all that glitters is not gold. The Watchtower has many secrets and many facades and many masks until you go behind the mask. The mask is removed once you become a part of them. And so you're struggling and you are trying to reach out and to become approved by them and their organization and the people within your congregation. And I warn you that it will become a daily, a weekly, a nightly, a monthly, and a yearly struggle in which you will never, ever measure up to what it is they require. And if you do not measure up to what it is that they require, you will no longer be approved, and thus you within yourself will lose all self-esteem. And so this is the work of mind control and cult-like teachings in order that you feel like nothing. And when you feel like nothing, you keep looking for validation outside of yourself to say, well done, you are approved. And this organization becomes Big Daddy and Big Brother because they have told you that it is only them that the Creator has chosen on all the earth. And thus they will make the rules for you. They will go outside of Scripture to convince you that they have the authority over your spirituality. And now whatever it is, the closeness that you desire to obtain to your Creator can only be reached through them. And they will promulgate this idea from the stage in your mind to believe that without them, you cannot have the Creator. And so I send this warning out to you, and this is the beginning of a few warnings that I will share with people that are thinking of becoming a Jehovah's Witness. There are dangers within that religion. It is a cult. It is full of mind control. And its desire is to capture all of your free will, to lower your esteem to the point where they become the authority in every single facet of your life. And thus it will be a never-ending struggle for you to keep your head above water. And so I warn you, and I hope that you at least heed the warning and keep your antennas up and look out for the lures that they use to capture souls. Thank you.